Suddenly, the man closes the notebook and looks directly toward the car. The woman freezes. The thieves hold their breath. Something is about to happen. Nay, speaking quietly, he's here. The old man's piercing gaze locks onto the woman in the car, and for a moment, everything feels still, like the city itself is holding its breath. Then with deliberate movements, he stands and walks toward her, his bag hanging loosely at his side. The thieves, hidden in the shadows, whisper nervously. Is he going after her now? Who even is this guy? The woman lowers her phone but doesn't look away. Her expression is a mix of determination and fear. As the man approaches, she steps out of the car, her hand hovering near her coat pocket. "We've been looking for you," she says, her voice steady but tense. The old man stops just a few feet away, his face unreadable. "Is that so?" He replies calmly. Meanwhile, the thieves exchange panicked looks. Something bigger than they imagined is unfolding, and they're stuck in the middle of it. Suddenly, a black SUV rounds the corner, screeching to a halt. Doors fly open, and several men in suits step out, their eyes scanning the scene. The old man doesn't flinch. Instead, he tightens his grip on the bag, his voice low but firm. You reel the men from the SUV fan out, their presence commanding and deliberate. One of them steps forward, addressing the old man. "You've got something that doesn't belong to you," he says, his tone cold. The woman moves closer to the group, her earlier confidence now laced with uncertainty. "We're just here to make sure it doesn't fall into the wrong hands," she adds, her eyes darting to the bag. The old man doesn't respond immediately. Instead, he sets the bag on the ground, his expression calm but resolute. "You think you know what's in here," he says, his voice steady, "but you don't understand what you're dealing with." From their hiding spot, the thieves watch, frozen with fear and fascination. One whispers, "What's in the bag?" "Money." "Secrets." The tension peaks as one of the suited men lunges for the bag. But the old man is faster. With a swift motion, he opens it, revealing nothing. The bag is empty. The group freezes, confusion rippling through them. "Where is it?" the lead man demands, his voice sharp. The old man smirks, a knowing look in his eyes. "You've been chasing a ghost," he says. Then with a sudden burst of precision, he tosses something small from his pocket, a smoke device. In seconds, the area is engulfed in thick clouds, and chaos erupts. The thieves flee in panic, the suited men scatter, and the woman shouts, "Don't lose him." But when the smoke clears, the old man is gone, leaving nothing but the empty bag and more questions than answers. Lies shouldn't have followed me. On a quiet city street, a group of young thieves spots an older man sitting alone on a park bench, dressed in plain clothes and minding his business. To them, he looks like an easy target, just another unsuspecting senior. They laugh amongst themselves, mocking his appearance, and make their move, attempting to swipe his bag. But the old man doesn't react the way they expect. Instead of fear or anger, he calmly stands up, his steady gaze cutting through their bravado. The laughter fades as unease sets in. Then, with one deliberate motion, he reveals something that stops them cold, a badge. Panic washes over their faces, and within seconds, they scatter, their cocky attitude replaced by sheer terror. Who is this man? And how did a seemingly ordinary moment turn into a lesson these young thieves will never forget? Stay tuned to uncover the truth behind his identity. As the young thieves sprint away, hearts pounding, they can't shake the piercing stare of the old man. His calm demeanor and that badge, they weren't expecting that. What was supposed to be an easy score had turned into something far more unnerving. Who was he? A retired cop, an undercover officer. They exchange frantic whispers as they duck into a nearby alley. trying to make sense of what just happened. Meanwhile, the man watches them flee, his expression unreadable. He calmly sits back down, his movements measured and deliberate, as if this sort of encounter is nothing new. The bag they tried to steal remains untouched by his side, the contents still a mystery. Passers-by who witness the commotion glance at him curiously, but he offers no explanation, no words, just the quiet confidence of someone who knows far more than he lets on. What could be inside that bag huddled in the alley? The young thieves argue in hushed tones. One of them insists they need to leave the area, but another, bolder and more reckless, suggests going back to find out who the old man really is. Curiosity mixes with fear as they replay the moment in their minds. That badge wasn't just any badge, and his reaction wasn't what they'd expect from an ordinary person. What if he's a detective? One whispers, his voice shaky. Or worse, what if he's watching us right now? Back on the bench, the old man opens the bag, casually retrieving a worn notebook. He flips through his pages, each one filled with handwritten notes and sketches. His calm exterior hides a deeper purpose, something that seems to have little to do with the thieves, or maybe everything. Across the street, a woman in a car watches him closely. She picks up her fauteuil, feels heavier as the old man sits on the bench, seemingly lost in the pages of his notebook. But his sharp eyes occasionally flicker toward the street, as if he's aware of more than he lets on. Across the way, the woman in the car keeps her gaze locked on him. Her fingers drum nervously on the steering wheel as she murmurs into the phone. He's not alone. I think they're watching him too. In the alley, the thieves can't resist the pull of their curiosity. Against better judgment, they edge closer to the scene, weaving through shadows. They peer around the corner, their breaths shallow, and spot the man still sitting there, calm and unbothered. But then they notice the car parked nearby and the woman watching him. One of them whispers, "What's going on? Is he being followed?"